All right, we are live, and it is Thursday, almost May. I can't believe it. May of 2020. It is the end of the month of April, so that's just a great reminder to anyone that's watching this. Make sure that you take some time today to reflect on your April, moving into a new May, and some of your initiatives and your goals for May. Obviously, it's a great time to think about it. And I know a couple years ago, we've all seen that Justin Timberlake bad meme of "It's gonna be May" from all you NSYNC lovers, like probably me and Pamela, since we're very close to the same age. But excited to be on the You vs. You show today. If you're just joining us, thanks so much for being on. Thanks so much for the support. I'm excited about this and the person that I'm going to interview today. And if you're new to the show, just want you to know, if you're watching this, we want to help you win the greatest battle that you'll ever face, and that's the battle of you. And I know battle, that word battle, is a very kind of not attractive, not very loving word, but at the same time, we are all in a battle every single day. But it's from the inside out. We're in a battle against ourselves. There really isn't any competition, but we want you obviously to win that battle. And being the author of the best-selling book, You vs. You, myself, yours truly, there it is, the 12 ways to kick your own ass and win. I just find some amazing people to interview that are on their way and already have accomplished a lot of winning that battle within themselves. So I want to get right into it. This is an amazing person that you're about to watch today. She's a single mom from the beautiful state of Montana, population 2, her and her child. And she's out there all alone in Montana. I think nobody has the coronavirus in Montana, but beautiful. I've been there once. I love to go back. Beautiful state. And this person is a beautiful soul, beautiful person on the outside, a beautiful person on the inside. And it's been my honor to be her leadership coach for the past couple months. She is in our Inside Out coaching program. But I want to get to know her a little bit publicly. She can share a little bit about her background first and foremost. And we have some very awesome questions that are going to inspire a lot of people on how to really go after their dreams in the middle of COVID, in the middle of what we're all going through. So Pamela, thanks so much for being on. So if you could just share a little bit of your background and give a little bit of context of kind of where you're from and what you do a little bit, and then we'll get right into the questions if that's okay.
Yes. Thank you, Todd. So I'm a single mom from the beautiful state of Montana, like Todd said. I came to Todd in about late January or February, because I was on a personal journey to really find myself. I'd already kind of taken a break from everything for a year and had been following Todd. And he's really been helping me come to terms with myself, really put myself out there and be myself and really find myself, find the clarity of who I am. I think through the process of just divorce and everything else and being a single mom, you kind of lose who you are in all of that. So really that's why, I came into the Inside Out program and, finding clarity. Yeah. So
I'm gonna ask you this first question, like I ask a lot of my clients, because it's not every day that you're probably interviewed and stuff like that. So I know it could be, of course, even for me, it was really nerve-wracking to do my first video. And I used to hate Facebook Lives, by the way. I used to hate the comments and oh my God, do I have any trolls? What are they saying about me? Years ago. So I know it's not always easy, but isn't that what really success is, though? Getting out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that for you since February now, getting out of your comfort zone, and how's that been for you?
Well, it's definitely been difficult, but rewarding at the same time. This is probably the very first interview I've ever done. So it is a little nerve-wracking, but it's fun at the same time. So it's fearful, but then it's one of those things that it's just exciting at the same time. So as much as it's fearful for me, I'm really excited to do it at the same time.
So somebody watching this, right? So somebody's watching this and they might say, why would this lady be nervous? If they look at you, like I said, you're beautiful on the outside, beautiful on the inside. Why would somebody be, nervous? I think we all have that incredible inside. That's why we have the Inside Out program. And what that really means is we really are all amazing on the inside. And
we are.
We all look up to celebrities, whatever, but at the same time, it's when you meet, have you ever met a celebrity and been disappointed? You're oh, he's so short, or she's not as pretty as I thought she was. You're well, in a good way. It's well, if they can do it, what am I doing, right?
Yeah, they're more humanized. I think we put people up on a pedestal and think, oh my goodness, there are these absolute perfect people. But
Right.
then like when you get to know them or you see them outside of the realm of who they are, they're just down to earth, normal people.
Yeah, I was watching a great show, by the way. This is I don't get paid for this, but the HGTV, the brothers, the twin
The
brothers,
Property
the
Brothers.
property brother. They're
Yes.
doing the property of the celebrities, and it's
Oh,
a brand new show. It's unbelievable. So Brad Pitt was the first person that they had. So Brad Pitt did a surprise for his makeup artist for 25 years. And it was awesome. But what I got out of it, I mean, Brad is an amazing guy. I love him. He's like one of my favorite actors. But he was about this tall compared to the Property Brothers. And you look at Brad Pitt, like Troy and all those movies, and when he was all muscular, he's a little guy, just a little guy in real life, because you can tell.
yeah.
So it's like perspective, right? It's like, well, why are we? Because here's like, say, Brad Pitt, who got out of his comfort zone, went from in the 80s, got a Doritos commercial, I know all about him, Thelma and Louise, took him 5 years of rejection to finally land Thelma and Louise. And now everyone worldwide knows his name now, 25 years later, won the Academy Award. So why are we so afraid? But someone like maybe Brad Pitt from small town, I think Mississippi or Missouri, just now is Brad Pitt 25 years later. So he's no better than us. It's just, I think what these people have done is they just said, you know what, enough's enough. I'm going to go pursue my dreams. Right.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I think we all have fears, but it's just, you have to just go with it. Like you can do it with fear or without it. Either way, the fear I think is still going to be there.
Yeah.
So you can choose to either not follow your dreams and your passions and still have the fear, or still have the fear with you and just go for it. Because either way, it's going to be there.
What has that done for you of what you're creating with like your vision and stuff? I mean, you had, one of the things that I do with my clients on the conscious side, because we also work with Emmanuel Zavaios on the subconscious side, and it's amazing. But what I do is I help my clients take action. And you actually, I think a few months ago, painted this beautiful vision statement of different places you want to live and some horse ranches and stuff, and really a day in the life of you in 5 years.
Yes.
So what did that do for you when you really had that revised piece of information that you've created? What did that do to your subconscious and conscious mind of like, oh my God, like I can actually feel it, touch it, smell it? How did it shift you in any way?
Well, it gave me clarity, like really, really clear on what I wanted to do. Because I've always kind of known what I've wanted to do, but it was like, how do I make this happen? How can I feel it? How can I really make it a reality? And so getting really clear on what it is and where I'm going, and then creating those different action steps that are going to get me there every single day into the next month, into the next year, to actually have it is huge. Because that's where I was lost. It's like I knew where I wanted to go, but I didn't know how to get there. So having that vision really kind of brought the whole picture together for me.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna talk about something possibly controversial, but I don't want to offend anyone. So anyone that's watching this, of course, I just come with love, and we have enough negative stuff on the news, stuff like that. But controversial meaning single mom. Okay, and I'm not. So I've met a lot of single moms that are awesome, and I've also met a lot of them that are the victims. And and you are obviously not the victim. You're so here. I just want to paint the picture for everyone, so everyone can really get some inspiration. So you're a single mom. You have a job. You're all on your own. I think getting a coach, I think for some people it's like only the rich can get that, or people that kind of have their life together get a coach to even make it better, like a chef, right? Like you have to be rich to have a chef in the house. I think this misconception, but what's so impressive about you to me is, since most of our clients are women, is being a single mom is amazing. It's hard. It's no doubt about it. But on top of that, you have a dream for yourself. You have an identity outside of being a mom. You're willing to do whatever it takes to be a part of a mastermind and a group of people that you can rise up and overcome yourself, which to me is so impressive. And I think the controversial part of it is, there might be a single mom right now that maybe is watching this that's like, yeah, but you know how a lot of people say, yeah, but she has, or yeah, but they're already making assumptions like, you don't know my life, you don't know my ex, or you don't know what I've been through. Either way, they don't know what you've been through either, right? So as a single mom, could you speak to that a little bit on how important it is to really, even as a mom too, but it's even harder to be a single parent. How can you speak with authority on going after it, no matter what your circumstances, for yourself, doing something for yourself and not always just giving to your children?
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing, because for the longest time I was told, your children come first. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You're a single mom. She needs to be taken care of first.
Right.
But I realized unless I'm taking care of me and I'm like financially free and I'm like chasing my dreams, how am I going to teach my daughter to do the same things? How am I going to instill those values in her? How am I going to tell her, honey, you can be whatever you want to be, but I'm not doing it because, well, you come first. So how can I wanted to be able to teach my daughter, you do come first. You do come first as my daughter, but as yourself. So by me chasing my dreams and going after what's important to me, I'm, taking care of myself, but in turn, taking care of her and showing her hard work and showing her that you can do what you want to do. Like, don't let anybody tell you differently.
Absolutely. Well, in my book, I talk about, so I want to address something that you have in your mindset is I talk about one of the biggest battles that we all deal with. And especially if you look at COVID-19 right now, there's a lot of uncertainty about finances, financial. And there's only three mentalities when we understand what money is. And money is a hard issue. And, $50,000 a year for one person could be amazing, happy, I love life. But if another person could be 500,000 or 5 million a year, right? It's all different perspectives. But regardless, we all need money. Okay. We all have to have money to survive, especially if you're a parent. You're just like mama bear, papa bear. Like, I ain't going to be home. I was homeless when I was single, but I ain't going to be homeless with 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, though, going back to being a single parent. Okay. I think maybe what you're talking about is unbelievable because your daughter will never feel entitlement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What she's going to see from you is a entrepreneurial spirit. And then you got the entitlement mentality, and then you have the spirit of poverty. So a single parent could have both of the spirit of poverty, maybe from their parents and their parents. Maybe they had a single parent, now they're a single parent. And they're just like, well, we just have to scrape to get by. That's just life. It is what it is. I can't change. It is what it is. Or you have the gimme, the government needs to help me. I need to just get whatever I get. But for you, you're not only taking a stand, but you're showing your daughter the entrepreneurial spirit. So talk to me about, where did you get that? Like, what happened in your childhood? Who was your role model? Who did you see as someone, wow, like, was it your mom? Was it your dad? Was it a celebrity? Talk to me about where you got that from.
Well, actually, I grew up where my mom stayed at home with the kids and my dad worked, like 3 or 4 different jobs to support us, which was kind of, especially, when you go into marriage and you have kids, like that was kind of my mentality that, mom takes care of the kids, even though I worked. So I was kind of shamed for that a little bit. But it really, I think I always knew, like entrepreneurial wise, like I didn't want to work for anybody. I remember at the age of 16 telling my mom, there was like these mail-in little things, you could do from home. It's like, Mom, can I do this? Like I can do this by myself. I'm based on my productivity. Like I don't have to go work for somebody. Like I didn't want to do it because it was too much confinement of, you have to be here at this time. You get to leave at this time. And so I think I always knew, I just didn't know how to get there. And I was always told from a very young age, you go to school, you get a job, you work your 9 to 5, you work your 40 years and you retire. And I'm like, it never really resonated with me. So, and then I followed you for the longest time. And I think that's really where I stepped into it. I'm like, you know what? It's like, enough is enough. I've been building dreams of other people's for a long time. I want something for myself and something that, in turn, I can pass down to my daughter. And if she wants to take it over, she most certainly can. If she doesn't want to and wants to do something different, that's up to her. But I think it was just about choice, Yeah.
And not everyone's going to feel like that. Some people, well, let's just be real though. It is 2020. Pensions are going to run out. Social Security is going to run out. My wife loves the show Mad Men. And I love it too, because man, anyone that lived, let's say they're our age, living in 1950, they do have it good. Let's face it, the 50s were an incredible era. You got Frank Sinatra alive, the 60s, Elvis Presley. And at that time, that's like when our grandparents, me and you, our grandparents were alive. And what a great time to be alive, because you can go to school, you can get a great job. And my grandfather lived to almost 100 years old. He was an insurance salesman. He had a pension. And back then, before they changed it in the 70s to a 401k, like a pension was a big deal.
Yeah.
And you could have $1 million in that pension or more working a $40,000 or $30,000 a year job. But now we're in 2020. So as much as I like to say, you know, entrepreneurship is not for everyone and sure, get your 9 to 5. The problem with that is you're going to retire on nothing. So you're going to work 40 years and you're going to have nothing because the Social Security is over. Pension plans are not the old way. They're the 401k profit. It's not. The stock market is so up and down. And of course, with COVID, Great Depression. So I think everyone has an entrepreneur side. So let's talk about this. So here you are, you're discovering your passion is cooking.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And every time we talk about cooking, you light up. You know, I don't know what your kitchen looks like, but it's probably like your favorite room of your house, your kitchen. And you don't cook right now for a living. You do something else.
I do. Yes.
But even someone that might not have an entrepreneurial spirit, or so they think, they might say, wait a minute, I love cooking too, or I love yoga, or I love computers, or I love social media. So now is the time to do something for yourself, no matter who you are.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, I agree 100%.
So talk to me about how this is becoming something real for you, where it's not just you cooking for your daughter, it's actually you making something out of it. Could you share your vision with me about just your passion there?
Yeah. So I fell in love with cooking from a very young age. Like I think from the time I could see over the counter in my mom's kitchen, like I cooked with my mom. And about 7 years, I got into clean eating, but realized that it was kind of complicated, like to cook. So my passion really came with, I want easy, clean, quick meals to cook like in the kitchen. And I love cooking, love it, but I don't want to spend like 2 hours in the kitchen cooking. I don't, but I love to teach people to cook. Like for me, it's about like connection and creativity, and it's like food for the soul. So when you bring people together over it, whether it's experimental dinners or like your favorite dish, it's just, there's just something about it. It's like when you sit down at the table, your family. So, and maybe that's how, because we always sat down at the table and we had home cooked meals. So that's where it came from too. But it doesn't matter if you're my blood family or like you're my friends. When you come and you sit at my table, like we share a meal, we're going to share great conversation. So for me, I think it's more about connection and creativity in the kitchen than just what comes out of it.
So my mind is like flowing right now because I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm always thinking about brand and monetization and getting a return on your mission. So right now, the last time I went out to eat was like 2 months ago, right? It's like none of us can go out to eat. No. The only thing we can do right now is get takeout, right? So what if you let's say I'm you, okay? Let's say, and you're the coach. So like what I could probably do if I love that, but I even want to make a living doing it, and you have to make a living sometime. You don't always have to make a living off your passion, but I think people misconstrue like a hobby versus a passion.
Yes.
So a hobby is like playing the guitar or whatever, that you don't need to make money on that unless you're Adam Levine and you want to start Maroon 5. Okay.
Yes.
Because if you're passionate about it, you're going to be massively talented and money's going to come to you. Right. So if you're a phenomenal cook, people are going to be like, well, I'll pay you, or why do you, I want you to cook for me. Right.
Yes.
But you could do, like, if I was you, like if I had your passion, like knowing that everyone right now is home and so many people are so sick and tired of cooking because they don't know what they're doing.
Yes.
Like doing videos every day, like Monday, this is what you have maybe for dinner. Here's some ideas. Here's how you make meatloaf. Here's how you do some chicken that's different than maybe the typical chicken. And here's some herbs, and here's some things that I'm doing. And here's the healthy habits, and even just teaching while you're creating on video or e-commerce, and having, so you can do so much with anyone's passion as long as you're a good teacher. So what are some skill sets that you've had to learn? So you have your passion, you love it, but what did you have to learn, and what are you learning currently on like the one thing that you got to get better or do more of to get your message out to the world?
Certainly, I would have to say like getting in front of people. Being out there and sharing like my recipes. I cook all the time. And just, like sharing what I'm doing. A lot of it is like, oh, here's, my food that I made, but I'm not sharing how easy it was done or that sort of thing. So I think getting out there and showing people that it is super easy. Yeah. It's not as hard as what we think it is. It's not 2 hours in the kitchen. I think that's kind of one of the biggest misconceptions and where a lot of people turn away. Yes. Like, Nobody wants to,
right? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
even though we're all home, nobody wants
Yeah.
to spend 2 hours in the kitchen.
Right.
I mean, nobody.
Right.
So I think that is the biggest misconception of it. So doing more of that and showing people that it's a lot easier. It's a lot more flavorful than people think too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a whole bunch of flavorless, lifeless food that you put together and, oh, that's healthy. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of different ways to spice up your foods, to cook your foods for that matter too, you know? So I think that's one of the biggest things.
Where I get lost is the grocery store, like going to the grocery store and it's like, I want quick, but I wish I could, right? So what would your advice be to somebody be like, is a little overwhelmed by the fact they got to go to the grocery store, they got to buy these frozen goods, they got to buy this food, and then they got to come home and prepare. Do you have some kind of system for yourself that it makes it easier for you to do it yourself that you'd like to share? Is there any tips there that you'd like to share with anyone about that?
Well, I mean, I have a couple of my favorite recipes that are like my go-tos, like for snacks and dinners. But I absolutely love the Instapot. You know, you can take a lot of things like a pork shoulder roast, some pineapple, and stick it in there. You can make like a delicious like pork shoulder roast, and you can turn it into sandwiches. Like, so it's not only taking the meal that you have, but you can also like reconstruct it for the next day and use it for in a different way.
Right.
So you're not eating the same thing over and over again.
What's the machine you're talking about? What's the device?
The Instapot.
Instapot. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like a pressure cooker. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Do you like crock pot a lot of food too? I like that as well.
I do.
Okay.
I make really good buffalo chicken dip.
Oh,
it's like the bomb. Yes.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple more questions, but where do people find you? Because I know you have a lot of recipes you share on your Instagram. Where can people like follow you and obviously be wowed by some of your cooking specialties?
So on Facebook, I'm Pamela Virginia. And on Instagram, it's Pam_Virginia. And then on YouTube, it's Out of the Box, which inspired me from the COVID. You know, we got to get out of our box. We can't just stay in there and, you know, do the same things.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So a couple last questions here. So yeah, you've got a comment. You're making me hungry. So that's a good thing. So speaking on that, I don't prepare these. I like to just flow with people. So I just write down some notes maybe. But hunger. Okay, so
hunger.
On the topic of hunger, talk to me about what it takes to be successful on the hunger side. Meaning, I'm not talking about literally you're hungry for food, but you're hungry to pursue your passion. Because let's face it, what you being on this could be controversial to people that you know. They may say, "Oh, Pam, you know, your little, you know, you want to do your little food thing," and it could be like your closest friend or whoever, and they kind of like poo-poo on your dream, right? Like a lot of people deal with. It's like, well, COVID's happening and businesses are shutting down. Pamela, what are you thinking? Like restaurants, you can't go to a restaurant. Why don't you just put that on hold? Make sure, you're so blessed that you still have your job. Just focus on that, right?
Yep. I get it all the time.
Okay.
Probably my family, and they might get mad at me for saying that, but my family is probably one of the biggest ones. Like, you just need to focus on your job. I'm like, no, it might not be there tomorrow. So I think you just kind of have to be really clear on what you want to do. Don't listen to other people. I did that for a long, long time. And it wasn't until I really was clear on who I am and what I wanted out of life that I just kind of stopped paying attention to them. And I was like, you know, you guys will get it. You'll understand it in time. They may not understand it right now, but they will. And just be relentless. Like, don't give up. Do not. You know, it's taken me lots of years to get here, but I knew I was destined for it. So it was like, I'm not quitting.
Yeah, a great movie that would inspire a lot of people watching this subject would be Joy. It's based on a true story of QVC, The Joy. I forget her last name, but Robert De Niro and Bradley Cooper's in it. It's like inspiring, badass woman. Like all of her people said, "Why are you doing? You know, why are you doing this?" It's based on a true story, and it won, I think, a couple Academy Awards. But you just got every person I've ever researched in business that has been very successful obviously has been violently opposed when they first had the idea, but is praised once they become self-evident.
Yes.
And any idea, you know, back in even the 1800s and 1700s, the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer even said, you know, once an idea comes like the Apple computer, violently opposed, who's this Steve Jobs guy? It's IBM all the way, Apple, you know. but all of a sudden now Apple owns that space, instead of IBM as much. So it's always going to be self-evident once we have a hunger enough to stay in alignment with our vision. So on a scale 1 to 10, how high, 10 being the highest, what would you say your dream is right now to you? Your 5-year vision, everything that you want to come true. What would you rank it?
Oh, it's like an 11 at least.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I'm not going to stop until I get there, because I know that's my passion. That's my career. That's where I want to be. Right. So, and it might take me a little bit, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm going to get there.
Absolutely. So I kind of want to put everyone, let's say right now it's 2025, and whoever knows what, let's just say the year is 2025, and you make that 5-year vision statement, you look back and just think about 2020. Oh yeah, remember that COVID thing, and remember Uncle Sam and Aunt, whatever. And we're not going to drop names, but said don't do that, or just stay with your job. And then now it's 5 years later, and just imagine if I actually listened to them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here. Yeah, exactly.
Nope. I'd be like, you guys aren't sitting around my 25-person dining room table sharing this meal with me. That's what would happen.
Right.
If I would listen to them.
Exactly. So. And they say in the Bible, without vision, people perish.
They do.
And anyone that's watching this, take a page from Pam's book that you could be a single mom. You could be a married woman. You could be single in general. You could be from a bad household, a great household. You could be black, white, Asian, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Take it from Pamela that if we all just buckle down on our dream and our goal, and of course, what Pamela did is hired coaches. She said yes to a mastermind, and she's doing the interior work. Because last question here I want to share with you, coming from you, is a lot better than me. How does it feel to have all of this inside of you, but to have people like myself and Emmanuel and the squad pulling that out of you?
It's absolutely amazing. There's no way that I could have done this on my own. No way. Mm-hmm. I guess maybe, but it would be really, really, really tough.
Putting it off, procrastination, no accountability, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. I mean, I do not regret it at all. I'm so grateful every single day to you and Emmanuel for everything that you guys do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
And the motion code, how do you like that part of it? Body code, motion code.
My goodness. I could go on forever, but the things that Emmanuel has released from me, there were things I didn't know were even in there. But the weight that is lifted off of you and the clarity that you get, it's just absolutely amazing. I recommend him to everybody that I come across.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, good. Well, I'm excited for you. I definitely know the potential's limitless for you. I know that you're reaching your full potential and that untapped potential. At least the coolest thing about you is at least you're not going to die with music still in you. No. And the richest soil is in the graveyard. It's all the people that didn't hire a coach. They didn't find a mentor. They didn't find the mastermind. They're like-minded people, their tribe. They just thought, I'm just gonna do it on my own. I'm just gonna be, I got this. I'll just figure life out on my own, right? Yeah. And or procrastinated, but you didn't do that. So any last thing, kind of wrapping up this interview, that you just like to share from the heart? Anything that you give to the listeners on the replay or people live?
Seriously, you guys, get a coach. I cannot stress it enough. They know what well, make sure you get a good coach. Get Todd and Emmanuel. Because don't
get a life coach.
No. Get a transformational leadership coach. Get Todd. Seriously, they can pull things out of you that you didn't even know were there. And they can help you clarify and get clarity on your mission and your passion and really bring it to life so that you can chase it and have the life that you've always dreamed of.
Absolutely. Well, I'm just, this is my passion. I mean, I love what I do, because obviously I get to meet people like you and help you pursue your dreams and help you overcome all the obstacles and all the challenges. But where would we be without the obstacles and challenges, right?
That's true. We wouldn't be who we are.
Yep.
I mean, we are that's what makes us who we are. So I'm thankful for every single one of them, because it did lead me here to you. So
exactly. And I said this last night in one of our calls, and I'll kind of leave the viewers with this thought. You and Pamela and me, we're not unique just because we have problems and challenges. We're only unique on how we attack those problems and challenges, and how we are proactive in that, and how we can accomplish all of whatever you're going through. No one would ever know Viktor Frankl if it wasn't for him overcoming everything he did in the Holocaust. So it's what you do in the midst of the battle that makes you unique. But every one of us has battles, so that doesn't make us unique. So get out of your comfort zone, be like Pamela, do whatever it takes, make a decision to say yes to yourself, whether you're a single mom, whether you're a female, whether you're male, whether you're young, whether you're old, it doesn't matter. Everyone can still grow and everyone still accomplish your dreams.
Yes.
So with that, thanks so much, Pamela, for being on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being on. We'll see you tomorrow on the next show.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.